Like I said in previous videos, whatever happens in, for example, the American music industry happens in the K-pop industry times 1,000. This includes how much skewed power the fans carry. My first time realizing this was when I was confused about how the most popular boy band, BTS, in the world right now doesn't have a lot of pictures with fans, of which I was informed it's because a fan can lie and say that they're dating, which is the dumbest shit because one, why would a K-pop idol dating be a problem? Check video here. And two, I can lie and say that I'm dating Megan Thee Stallion and no one would bat an eye. But you do it in K-pop and you can potentially end a person's career. Unfortunately, there have been so many cases of when K-pop fans have lied and said that an idol has bullied them, or they've spread rumors that an idol is dating, which inevitably ends up in an idol either being put on indefinite hiatus from the group that they trained 7 to 10 years getting into just to debut, or even more extremely, them getting kicked out of the group. And only after the damage is done, only after the person is put on indefinite hiatus and misses a bunch of comebacks or gets kicked out of the group, then the person comes out and was like, oh, just kidding, I lied. Girly pop. Today we're gonna go over, unfortunately, a bunch of examples. There are so many examples of this that I've only narrowed it down to a couple, but still more than one is too much of this being the case, why it is, and hopefully a solution so this can stop. First, we're gonna talk about she gets bitches and bitches get mad. Too long don't read. Karina is dating someone and she had to come out with a fucking apology because she's dating someone. She had to come out with an apology to the fans because they said that she was betraying them. Fans drove a truck, that goddamn truck, with an electronic billboard to her label with the message that said, "Is our love not enough for you? You need to be put in a fucking mental institution." And said fans threatened to stop buying albums and merch and shirts, and there will be a decrease in ticket sales because you're dating someone. Next situation is Rise. Sunghan from Rise. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I don't stan Rise, but you would think I would with the way I wake up every day and check Twitter to see if he's trending because he has been added back to the group. Yeah, so this is still currently going on. Someone leaked a picture of him before his debut with a girl, because like people date. Let me read this sentence. "This was enough to anger Rise fans for ruining the group's reputation even before the band's official debut." We need to talk about the absolute hypocrisy in that sentence. Jesus Christ. He, along with all of these idols that I'm going to be talking about and the ones that I aren't mentioning today, didn't ruin their reputation. You, the fans, getting so fucking upset you're sending a fucking van. You're spending money to send a van with a billboard to somebody's label, or protesting, we'll talk about that, to get somebody kicked out of a group. You are ruining their reputation, not them. I promise you trying to cover this up by being like, oh, you're ruining the reputation for SM or for the group. These brands do not give two shits if they're dating somebody or not. And if you really want to think about it, what is the first thing that Hollywood pop culture markets on? Couples. Couples are so fucking popular. Brangelina, Tom and Zendaya, Britney and Justin Timberlake. The first thing brands will do, the first thing that all these people reposting and stuff will do is repost these couples and make a bunch of money on these couples. Why? I mean, yesterday my fucking entire timeline was just filled with Tom and Zendaya. And they were just like sitting there and talking, and like fucking fashion companies were reposting this shit. And then also, a lot of these brands have like very bad shady past or still currently doing very bad things, and dating is not on that list. They don't give a fuck, and you're just trying to cover up, oh, they're making the group look bad. No, it's just because you're jealous that you're not dating them and you have some sort of delusional ownership over this idol, which we'll also talk about in a second. I don't know if it was Sunghan, but it was another member of Rise, I think, or maybe it was the same one that also was smoking cigarettes. And then actually 2 other members of Rise that came out, or pictures got leaked or something about them also dating someone or some stupid bullshit. And I'm like, bro, okay, so what are you gonna do? Kick out every single member of Rise for dating people? And if we kick out every single member that has dated someone, K-pop industry, what K-pop idols will you have? Yeah, the problem is not these idols ruining their reputation. The problem is you. Because if you were not sitting here sending vans and freaking the fuck out, there would be no reputation to ruin. These people wouldn't be kicked out of groups. The problem is you. Next, Hyunjin. I'ma stay, and I actually forgot about this shit because, you know the thing your brain does when something is so bad or so embarrassing or whatever, you cringe so hard that it kind of seeps to the back of your mind and you just forget about it. So for literally 5 months, from February to July 2021, Hyunjin was put on an indefinite hiatus because there were bullying rumors that he bullied someone in school. These claims were never backed up by any evidence whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure the person who said that they got bullied came out as like they lied. Just a cute little lie. Hey guys, girly pop lie. Wano. So I don't know if you know this, but Wano was a part of Monsta X. Monster. I didn't know this until after I knew about him because I was introduced to him, like many people, as a solo artist. But no, he was a part of Monsta X, and he ended up leaving the group because someone lied and said that he smoked weed. Now, there is a high chance that if you're watching this, you live in America. Drugs are not like as crazy or taken as seriously as they are here, as they are in Korea, especially weed. Weed is starting to be weedgalized. Weed is starting to be weedgalized in a bunch of states in America. I live in New York. That shit is legal here. Oh my god. He's widowity doing the gwitty. I used to be a fucking nun in high school. I don't know why. I used to be like, drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. Don't have sex until you get married. I don't know. My parents didn't even raise me like that. I don't fucking know why. Even I know that like weed is like safer than alcohol. Listen, I'm not a doctor, but yeah, he said in 2020, I'm pretty sure, this is coming from his mouth, that he ended up leaving Monsta X to kind of, save them so they didn't have to go through everything, which fucking sucks. But once again, they lied. And he said, you know what, bitch? Okay, boom. This shit turned into a fucking police investigation. And of course, he was cleared of all charges because he did not fucking smoke weed. And even if he did, why would that Listen, I mean, some people, some K-pop idols literally vape and their voice is perfectly okay. Weed ain't gonna do shit. If anything, weed is gonna calm them the fuck down and relax them from the fact that they have these fucking psychotic stands and they have to fucking dance 26 out of 24 hours of a fucking day. You know what? Let K-pop idols smoke weed, honestly. Listen, I don't even smoke weed. I'm straight edge, but period, next sentence, I completely understand why people do it. And honestly, if anyone should be smoking weed, it should be K-pop idols. Anyway, who's your dream blunt rotation? Chen from EXO once again. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I've talked about this briefly in a previous video too, but the iconic group EXO, who has 0 skips, all bops, club, another club. He posted that he was getting married to his girlfriend, and I think he also implied that she was pregnant. And Lord Jesus fucking Christ. So, dozens of EXO fans staged a protest rally in front of SM Town, pressing the music label to expel Chen from the group. Last week, following the news of Chen's marriage, a group of EXO fans issued a statement claiming that the marriage decision inflicted serious damage to the reputation EXO has built up for 9 years. If I was Chen, I would post a picture of my ass with the caption, "Kiss it." Something that's really scary about this, and I actually have a separate video on this and why fans act the way they do, why these psychotic fans act the way they do. Serious issue about this, and especially that statement, is that you're not viewed as a human being when you're a K-pop idol. I understand that when you're signed to a company, like for example, WWE, wherever you go, whatever you post and whatever you do, you are representing a company. However, you're still a human being at the end of the day. Becky Lynch is a wrestler, right? But she's also a human. I don't think all she does is wrestle. She's currently in a wrestling ring. She's going around punching people. No, she's also a mom. She's also a person, and her job doesn't define her. These idols are people outside of their jobs. Their jobs do not define them. And it's not the only reason as to why they're existing and alive. Saying inflicted serious damage to the reputation EXO has built up shows that if you're an idol, you're not viewed as a human being, by some people. Your job and the fans come first, not your own love, not your mental health, and not your happiness. Because these people don't see you as human beings. They see you as like a fucking stake in the company that they have some sort of fucking ownership over because they bought a goddamn light stick in 2016. I can't even consider this a pattern when this is like the normalized thing. If you do anything, you get put on hiatus or you get kicked out of a fucking group, because this shit happens all the time. Every time. So if you're not familiar with the way that the K-pop industry markets K-pop idols, it's literally boy bands. Whether it be NSYNC, Boys to Men, or One Direction, it doesn't matter the decade, doesn't matter the year. One of the reasons why boy groups do historically well and have this global reign over the entire universe is because of the way that they're marketed. And marketed towards specific fans, specific age demographics, specifically those identifying as women. Boy bands make these songs for you, about you, and there's a chance that you can date them. So it would make sense as to why you want to keep the perceived image that these people in groups aren't dating, so you can continue to market them and profit off this. This isn't new, but like I said earlier, whatever happens in, for example, the American music industry happens in the K-pop industry 1,000 times worse. It's known that K-pop idols have "you're not allowed to date" in their contracts when they're signing up to become an idol, as these idols are created for you. It can even get as intense as you're not even able to like look at someone of the opposite sex, because then someone will think you're dating, and then a rumor will come out that you're dating, and then all of a sudden this group that I trained 11 years for and went into debt for, I'm now kicked out of. Every little interaction is microanalyzed. And once again, this just shows that idols are not being viewed as people. The way that this marketing manifests itself, unfortunately, is fans thinking that they have some form of ownership over idols. If you're marketing idols as someone that is for someone else, then that said someone else who's being marketed to will feel like this idol exists and does everything for them. That's where these crazy psychotic renting out trucks saying "isn't our love enough for you," or protesting in front of buildings demanding a member be kicked out because he's married comes in. And to the labels, if you know that this is such a normalized and consistent thing that people constantly make up rumors and spread lies every day about an idol bullying or an idol dating, why are you even so quick to jump to post about it? And once again, like I said earlier, if you have the dumbass excuse of, oh, it's to protect the idols, think about it. If someone says an idol bullied them and the company literally 20 seconds later puts out a statement, that makes the idol look bad. That makes the idol look like they actually bullied that person. Versus if someone says, oh, Hyunjin bullied me, and the company doesn't fucking do anything. If I am hanging out with you and I go, God, cheaters suck, and you go, what the fuck? No, and you start to get upset, I'm gonna give you a bombastic side eye and be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and assume you cheated, because why are you getting so fucking upset? Versus if we're hanging out and I go, cheaters suck, and you go, yeah, I'm not going to look at you any type of way because you're not fucking freaking out about it. Also goes back to cancel culture, but this is a fucking case by case basis. Jesus fucking holy shit. Jesus Christ, this is a case by case basis. Please take what I'm saying very specific to certain cases. Like, for example, if somebody tweeted something racist in 2010 and it's 2024, I'm really not going to sit here and hold the tweet that they said in 2010 and be like, oh, you still think that way now, because it's been literally over a fucking decade. And if they've obviously grown and showed change, that doesn't really make any fucking sense to hold a very old tweet to how they are now. One thing people are always going to do is grow and change. There's some shit that I thought a couple years ago that is not fucking true at all, and I would not want to be held for those thoughts that I had or those viewpoints that I had if I am literally completely different and did a complete 180 now. So let's say a K-pop idol did bully someone in middle school, but now they're like 29 years old. Why are we thinking that the same child that they were in middle school was the same grown-ass adult that they are now? Now, if it comes out that they bullied someone in middle school and then a bunch of idols are like, oh yeah, they bully me now and they're still a shitty person, then yeah, but Why am I thinking that someone who bullied someone fucking 10, 15 years ago, or even, I don't know, 5 years ago, is the same person that they are now if they've showed growth and change? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if that's a fucking unpopular opinion, but whatever. Idols are not created for fans, and that's the problem. Since idols are marketed to be for the fans, whenever they do anything for themselves, the fans take it as betrayal, because you're not a living, breathing person for yourself. You're created for me. Fans should not have this much power. You should not be able to randomly wake up one day and just be like, I'm gonna lie. And also, I just want to make the statement that there are some situations where the person is actually telling the truth. And I also know how hard it can be when you're going through something that specifically a famous person did to you, and it comes out and then people automatically assume you're lying and this, that, and the third and stuff. I understand there are situations like that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when the fan literally comes out months later and they're like, oh yeah, I lied. We need to shift the relationship between idols and the power dynamic that the fans have. Idols need to become seen as humans and not just artists. If you compare it to the American music industry, this shit doesn't, not that it doesn't happen, but it's so like very much not normalized and really not really a thing, because fans aren't seen as this powerful entity that controls the artists. Long story short, I put a fucking jelly bean up my